Have you been creating a cage for yourself without even realizing it? Have you been boxing in your own potential and stopping yourself from becoming all that you can and all that you know that you're capable of? What am I talking about here? We're talking about labels and why it's time to shed all of them, whether the ones that have been imposed on you by others or the ones that you've accepted for yourself. We're back with another episode of Hard Truths.
I want the truth!
The truth? You want the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
So welcome back to Hard Truths episode 8. We're going to be talking about why it's time to shed your labels, whether they be disease labels, whether they be labeling what political party you identify with, whether they be describing the type of person who you are.
Now look at me. I'm almost as ugly as you.
It's time to break these down and rewrite your story. So can you guys handle the truth that all these labels are nothing more than cages that are meant to box you in and stop you from reaching your full potential? Let's get to the video now. What's happening, fam? Jared Weiss back here with another video on the Jared and James channel. If you guys didn't know, that must mean that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. Check out all my content, I post regularly. It's basically every platform, so like wherever you guys listen to content, watch content, I'm there. So check me out everywhere, support the channel, support the brand. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about this idea of labels and why you need to get rid of them. And the truth behind the purpose of them. Any type of label that tries to reduce you down into something less than who and what you actually are, it's time to get rid of them. First off, we're going to be starting with the whole medical system. So me personally, I know how, from my own experience, when it's come to my whole life-threatening illness and my whole healing journey, the medical system loves to put a label on you.
Oh my God, what? Is it meningitis? Scoliosis? Lupus? Is it lupus?
And your illness, and they want you to identify with this for the rest of your life. They want to tell you that you have this disease which is caused by this germ or this gene, which has never been proven actually. As many of you guys know by now, I believe in terrain theory of illness. I don't believe that germs cause disease. And you guys could look into this for yourselves. I'm going to post some pictures of books that I've read that have gotten me to this belief. And they're never going to actually analyze any of your lifestyle choices. They're never going to analyze toxin exposure. They're never going to look into whether you're surrounded by toxic friend groups, toxic environment, watching poor news, have poor friendships, whether the water you're drinking is contaminated, because all those things would be able to be fixed and would be able to be corrected.
That makes sense to me.
But the medical system doesn't want that. Once again, this is not referring to the doctors and nurses who truly do want what's best for you. This is referring to the medical industrial complex and the system as a whole and the people who are at the top. So anyways, once they give you this label, then it's time for them to medicate you for the rest of your life.
Pain Away is the #1 leading cure for headaches in America. Please consult with your doctor before taking Pain Away. Side effects may include drowsiness, shortness of breath, stomach ulcers, kidney stones.
By having this label, you basically reduce your chances of ever healing down to 0.
It went from 0 to piss all.
I believe that it's possible to heal from anything when given enough time and when given enough of the right inputs. As you guys know, I've been on my healing journey now for the past several years, and it took a lot of trial and error, a lot of going down the wrong paths to ultimately arrive on my current path, which is a very slow process, but like I know that I'm getting better, 0.1% better every day, and I know that I'm going to get there because it all starts with my belief in that it's possible, and then from there, everything that I'm doing is going to take care of the rest. But they don't want you to know that it is possible for everyone to heal.
They ain't believing us. God did.
So it essentially comes down to like, oh, give this person a super scary label, tell them that this disease can only be managed and can never be healed from, and by doing this, of course, you're keeping them in that system forever.
Forever?
And you're only going to be perpetuating the issues that actually cause that dis-ease. I also know that when it comes to my whole healing journey from the quote-unquote incurable, but also by being someone who's gone down the whole holistic health route, who's chosen this as my path, being within these communities, I see it all the time. I see plenty of people who were dealing with issues for 10 years, 20 years, but the whole thing was they actually never knew that it was possible to heal from any of these issues, because this whole time they'd been convinced that something was wrong with their body and that that thing could never be changed and could never be fixed. But once they eventually found the right inputs, found the right tools, understood how much power their own body has in self-healing, and once they knew how to support it, then things started to turn around for the better, and they were finally able to heal, or at the very least begin their healing journeys, and are on the path to healing now. Words are incredibly powerful, as I'm always saying, and also words actually give off certain frequencies too. So these words can either box you in, or they can help you grow, they can bring you down, or they can lift you up. But so many of these labels that we've attached to ourselves are so limiting, and they can and will cage you in if you let them. And that's also a huge reason why, when it comes to my own healing journey, and when it comes to my own health story that I've decided to write about myself, both literally and figuratively, these past several years, I've actually decided to stop referring to my speech issues and my digestive issues as disorders. And as many of you guys know, whenever I refer to my whole situation, I'll always say that I'm healing from these issues, rather than suffering from this, or have this illness, or whatever label anyone would want to give me. Because that simple word switch is going to raise my own body's vibration, it's going to allow my body to heal better, it's going to indicate to my mind that no, there isn't anything wrong with me, my body's just on its own healing journey, and this is all part of my path. So now, my question for you is, if you do wish to accept your illness label as a lifelong thing, if you've decided that it's not even worth trying to heal from this, and you just want to remain in this whole victimhood mentality,
What can I do anything right?
and you want to have as many awareness days as possible for this disease label, my question to you is why? Is it because you're not willing to put the time in, and you're not willing to give yourself a chance at healing? Is it because you found it more empowering to be a victim rather than becoming a victor over your circumstances? Was it because you didn't realize that it actually was possible to heal from these major labels? And look, I get it. I know how much patience you need. I know how much time it's been taking for me to heal from my issues, but like, I've made tremendous progress within these past few years that many doctors would have told me was impossible back in 2014, back when I was in these hospitals, back when I almost lost my life, and then all of the ensuing issues that followed. I've been proving the whole medical industrial complex wrong for the past few years, and I'm like, I don't plan to stop anytime soon.
You see, while you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. I will win.
I'm gonna become that miracle. I'm gonna become the one who overcomes all these labels, not the one who stays in that box and just decides that I'm a victim because that's what they wanted me to believe. Moreover, moving along when it comes to labels such as anti-V, which word I don't want to say because I don't want to get myself in trouble on YouTube, or pro-V, or flat earther versus globe earther, or Republican versus Democrat, or as they love to label people like me, conspiracy theorists. The reason why mainstream media, the government, loves to put you in these boxes is because it allows them to demonize whichever group they don't like, or whichever group doesn't go along with the narrative. And if they can reduce you down to just being a member of that group, they can convince you to not listen to anything that someone from that group says. Even if the point that someone in one of those groups is making is 1000% valid, it doesn't matter, because once you've accepted that label for them, then you've essentially decided that that person is crazy and that nothing that that person is saying could be relevant or could be truthful, especially because you or I or any of us
You and I, and she and you.
Don't you drag me into this.
are so much more than any of these labels. So why would you ever want to reduce yourself or someone else down to just that label? And yes, some of these labels I may even agree with. I may even be on board with these labels, such as anti-V or flat earther, as these are some of my stronger beliefs. But having said that, I know that I'm so much more than just that simple label. There's so much more to me beyond that. So I'm not just some stupid insert whatever label you want to call me. I'm an amazing person who's full of so many other beliefs and who has an incredible personality, if I do say so myself. You guys can disagree. But anyways, there's so much more to me that you can't just reduce me down to this one label. Otherwise, you're actually doing yourself a disservice and not even giving yourself a chance to listen to anything else that I might be saying, even though much else of what I'm saying you may actually agree with. Even if you disagree with some of my beliefs, there's so much more to me than just that one thing. So like, I don't think it makes sense for you to label me or box me into just like one category. A lot of this actually comes back to the whole logical fallacy of appeal to authority. So like, just because someone doesn't have a certain title doesn't mean that what that person's saying is wrong, and just because someone does have a certain title doesn't make what that person's saying right. Truth is truth, lies are lies. Just because someone who's saying something might be a quote-unquote expert doesn't make it true, or just because someone who's also saying truth might be some random person who has no credentials doesn't make what that person's saying wrong. Coming back to flat earth, so have any of you guys realized that any image that you've ever been shown of earth is actually CGI? What about the fact that water can't curve? Have any of you looked into Operation Fishbowl or Operation Dominic? Why do they try to convince you that the sun is 93 million miles away, which is complete nonsense? Why don't the stars in our sky ever change? Why is the North Star always in that exact same spot every night? I could keep going on this for days, but like all I want you guys to realize is that I'm actually a super critical thinker, and that people who do believe this actually aren't complete morons. And same thing when it comes to the V issue. The VA, you know what word I'm talking about issue. Have any of you ever looked into any of these ingredients in these things? What about the fact that no virus has ever been isolated and found to cause disease in anyone? So by labeling me with these labels that allow you to dismiss whatever I'm saying, but like, can you guys prove anything that I just said wrong? Have you guys ever actually looked beyond whatever the mainstream news media told you to look into? And I could keep going with so much more proof for days on this stuff, as I have in many of my other videos. But the purpose of this video is to get you to realize oftentimes that labels don't define me. Labels don't define you unless you choose to accept them for yourself. You have to look at everything from an individual standpoint, do your own research, critically think for yourself, and question everything, as I'm always saying. Moreover, when you call yourself fat or lazy,
I really want to lose 3 pounds.
Oh my god, what are you talking about?
You're so skinny. Shut up.
or say people like us can't do that, even if you're just joking, you're telling yourself, you're telling your mind, your brain, that you will never do that. Or if you call yourself ugly, or if others have called you ugly.
I always thought, if I was as ugly as that guy, I don't know what I would do.
Do you believe that about yourself? What about all the other people who tell you that what you're going through can't be healed from? Do you believe that about yourself? Or have you just accepted that because others have told you that so many times? Words are so powerful, as I'm always saying. The language gets manipulated a lot of times. And so put yourself back in control. Talk about yourself in the kindest, most amazing way possible. If you are going to give yourself any labels, make sure that those labels are strong and empowering. Describe yourself as someone who's healing. Describe yourself as someone who's capable of achieving anything. Break free from that box and become your best, strongest, most healed, most incredible self you can, and I don't think any labels can contain that. Coming back to the political parties, what if both parties are constantly switching, and what if it's all just this big massive power grab, and in reality, as I believe, both parties, most of the time, most of the people, are actually just two wings of the same bird who are all just trying to cause as much chaos and take as much power away from you as possible?
We want you to produce. You want me to produce your war? Not a war, it's a pageant. We need a theme, a song, some visuals. We need, it's a pageant.
But anyways, if you do identify with one side, this could be political parties, this could be for a lot of different situations. But if you just believe in your label, if you're only describing yourself as that one label, what if the information changes? What if something comes out that actually makes you think differently? Then do you still have to go along with that group of people? It definitely makes it harder to change your mind. So that's why it's so important to always keep an open mind and to not solely identify with one label or one group of people. Especially because the people at the top are always going to be inverting reality, and as Sam Tripoli always says, they basically never want you to know who's coming and who's going. So that's why it's always important to remain open-minded and always be questioning things and not trap yourself into just one group or into any type of group think. And as I spoke about with RJ during our first podcast episode, words are casting spells. Think about it. Spelling, cursive, curses. And so if you don't use your words wisely, you could actually be casting spells on yourself. You could be boxing yourself in. You could be limiting yourself without even realizing it. This is also why music is so important, and frequencies matter a whole lot too, and the frequencies of words matter. If they can get you to accept whatever limited label it is, no matter what it is, I don't care what we're talking about, well then, they've done their job. They've done exactly what they wanted to do. They reduced you down to nothing when you could have been so much more. They successfully impeded your chances of ever healing from whatever disease they labeled on you. They limited whatever success you were capable of having in the world, but also, oftentimes you actually did this to yourself by accepting that label for yourself.
You did this to yourself.
I mean, you didn't have to, which is why I've refused to accept that any of my illness labels were incurable, and that's why I'm going after healing every day. That's why I'm going after my wildest dreams every day. And same thing goes when it comes to my athletic goals, when it comes to my weight room goals. I never accepted any label that anyone else gave to me if I didn't fully believe it for myself. And that's why I become a better athlete than anyone ever would have thought about me. I become stronger than anyone ever would have given me credit for, than anyone ever would have given me a chance of becoming, because I refuse to accept what others think of me, and I value what I think about myself. And furthermore, so I don't want to get too deep into this for the sake of this video, but this is also one of my issues when it comes to the whole pronoun thing. As I spoke about with RJ as well, when they want to convince you that it's empowering to own your pronouns, or whatever it is they want you to think, whatever words to describe yourself are the only things that you own, are these limiting words for yourself, and then you have to identify yourself based on those words for the rest of your life. And going along the same lines, that also puts you in certain groups with certain people who you might not agree with. As RJ and I said, you could have been so much more. You could have been so interesting. You could have had so much more potential, and you could have had this incredible life for yourself, but instead you decided to box yourself in. You decided to go along with the group, and you've accepted this limited worldview for yourself. And that's not me hating on anyone who believes differently from me. I'm all for live and let live. But I do feel it's important to call out these issues when I see them. And to be clear, I don't mean any hate towards anyone in this video, or in any of my videos. I don't want anyone to feel attacked by me, anyone who has decided to associate themselves with any of the labels that I described in this video. I just want to empower all of you to realize your own superpowers.
I'm Mr. Incredible, not Mr. So-so or Mr. Mediocre guy. Mr. Incredible!
And to go on your healing journey from whatever major health issues you might be going through, or to go after your full potential no matter what it is that you might be doing, no matter what anyone else classified you as, no matter what anyone else wanted to box you into. I'm all about spreading love and positivity, but I want you guys to feel empowered. I want everyone to live as their highest selves and to empower themselves rather than boxing themselves in to these limited worldviews and to these limited labels. So remember that at any point you can choose to break free, you can choose to shed these labels and start rewriting your story as the one that suits you best, rather than the one that serves the rest of society best, and the one that keeps you down. And never asking, what if there's more to life? What if I do have some beliefs that go along with this group, but then others that actually go along with a completely other group? What if healing actually is possible for me? What if, in spite of what the doctors say, what if I'm different than any person who ever had a similar condition? What if I am that 1 in a million who can achieve my goals in spite of these certain limitations that others who had it couldn't? My final question is, what's stopping you? So anyways, I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to drop a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this video. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.